Hey folks, it's Ray at DCRainmaker.com here, and today I've got the GoPro Media Mod. Now this is a full review of this Media Mod after about 3.5 or so weeks of usage, so I've got a pretty good idea how well it works, where it works great, where it works so-so, where I want to throw it in front of a bus. I'll be able to dive through all of that detail here. As you can see, I've got a lot of accessories to kind of show how it works, because there's a bunch of different functions. But before we get to all that, let me just give you like the 2-second rundown of what the Media Mod is. It's $79. It's this frame thing that you see going around the outside of the GoPro right there. It has a built-in shotgun mic on the front, as well as a little bit one on the back. And then it has on the back here a 3.5mm audio in jack for microphones, as well as a USB-C connection for keeping something charged forever, and then a micro-HDMI port as well for outputting to TV or whatever the case may be. That is, in a gist, the whole point of the Media Mod. So I'm going to run through this in kind of basically 3 core chunks. One is how well does this shotgun mic work? 2, how well does the 3.5mm connector work? 3, how much do I hate the HDMI connection right there? And then we'll also, of course, talk about the general functionality of the whole case, starting right now. So in order to kind of explain to you how it all works, we're gonna have to put it together. But first we have to take it apart, because I've got it on the little shorty stick right there. So first we go ahead and unscrew this right there. So you can see that, just simply unscrewing it there. And then we'll pull out the top, and then we'll put down the flappers. And then we'll go ahead and take it out of the case. So this is your standard GoPro Hero Black right there. Now you'll see though, I've taken off the battery door, and that's something you have to do. When you do that, it becomes non-waterproof. And the reason it's non-waterproof is you can see straight into the battery compartment, just like that. You can see the SD card there. It's as non-waterproof as you get. So once you install the Media Mod on this, totally non-waterproof. All of it becomes non-waterproof. If you go swimming with it, you're gonna kill your GoPro, kill the Media Mod, and kill whatever microphone goodness that you have there. Though, the Light Mod is waterproof, so there's that. You'll go ahead and take the battery though, you'll stick it back in now, because the door's off, and you'll put this into the Media Mod, and it just slides in like this. I found the first couple times it was a bit tight, over a while it loosens up. Go ahead and close it up, and you'll see down at the bottom, you got the mount. You just pull out of those little holes just like that. There we go. And then you take your GoPro mount of sorts, whatever you have on there, and you simply slide it in. Now, before we do that, here's a funny little pro tip for you. GoPro quietly changed their mount designs. So you look at these 2 mounts right here, and you'll notice something. 1, my GoPro sticker's flying away. But 2, you'll notice that the mounts are opposites. So with the Media Mod, you're gonna mount something in like this. So that way it goes ahead and goes in into this hole there. But all the older GoPro mounts that you probably have around have the nut on this side. So when you go like this, you have to go in the other way and it catches there. I don't know why they changed it. It's odd, but it's something, if you look back at all your GoPro stuff, it's the other way around. It's not a huge deal, but like I've got some of these mounts, and these mounts, they technically, I can work like this, but then the screw hits the side when I go in, it's not very clean. So anyways, FYI on that, go ahead and take your shorty stick, whatever you have right there, slide it in into the hole, there we go. And then you'll take the thumb screw and put it in like normal. Now you'll notice there is a bit of a groove on this one side here. You can see it just like that, versus this side doesn't have the groove. You can technically put it in the wrong way. I've done it a bunch of times. So this just makes it easier to get it nice and tight on there like that. Okay, and hey, a quick note, if you're finding this video useful or interesting or educational or something along those lines, just simply whack that like button right now. It's all I ask. It really helps the video and the channel quite a bit. So press power on. Okay, so once you've gone ahead and gone powered on, it's going to use this front shotgun microphone by default. And you can double check that by going into the GoPro settings, simply click on your given video profile, and then click on the little pencil icon and scroll on down until you see mics. And you see right there, it shows front. If I tap that, you have 3 options: front, back, and stereo. So front, we use the one facing the front of the lens. Back, we use this portion here. And then the stereo, we'll use both. Except you don't want to use stereo on windy days because there's no wind reduction cancellation or anything like that. And it's about priority. So front isn't just exclusively front, it's front priority, versus the back is rear priority, and stereo again is both of those. Now I've got a couple samples right here. I've shot these all outside. That way we don't have any kind of the audio bounce in here. And you'll start off with the GoPro Hero Black with nothing attached. So no Media Mod, just the native microphones on that camera. So here's the first audio sample. In this case, I'm just simply holding it on the GoPro shorty stick. There is nothing around this. There's no Media Mod case. It's just simply the straight up default audio of the Hero Black. You may hear some of the birds up there and whatnot. whatnot, chirping in the background, but again, very clean audio, Hero 8 Black, no microphone, no accessories, nothing else. Next, I've added the GoPro Media Mod case to it, and I have it configured for the front shotgun mic, so there's no additional microphones on this, just the built-in Media Mod case. The birds are still chirping up there, so listen whether you can still hear those and whether it sounds better than the previous clip. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead behind the camera, so I'm just going to hold the camera like this and walk around behind it, and you can see right here, here's my hand in front, and now this is using the front arrangement, but I'm standing behind it, so that way, you know, it's having to prioritize the front mics normally, but I'm actually behind it. This is how you might use it in a lot of vlogging scenarios where you turn around, you show something, and you go back and forth there. Now in this scenario, I have it prioritizing the back mic. So right now it shouldn't sound all that great, but as I go ahead and get behind it right here, you should see it sounds better. Again, my hand in front of me there, but I'm now behind the camera itself and using the back prioritization. As I go back to the front right here, the audio probably isn't going to sound as good anymore. Okay, so as you heard there, yeah, blah. I've got two GoPros side by side on a really windy day out on the beach, and you can listen to what it sounds like on both of those different setups. One with the Media Mod and the shotgun mic, and then one with just the straight up built-in audio of the GoPro Hero 8 Black. Okay, so here's a simple audio test out on a windy day. You can see by the flags way down there, it's pretty windy, about 25 miles an hour wind. Probably see the fan blowing behind me across the road from time to time. Now I've got two different cameras here. They're a simple audio test out on a windy day. You can see by the flags way down there, it's pretty windy, about 25 miles an hour wind. Probably see the sand blowing behind me across the road from time to time. Now I've got two different cameras here. That's probably all right. That's not what I'm here for. I am here for the 3.5mm audio jack on the back. I am here to replace this gigantic Twinkie of a setup that GoPro's had for years. I know DJI and Insta360 have these small little ones that would be really nice if GoPro had these. Though the downside of this, though, is that once you plug it into a, you know, Osmo Action or an Insta360, though not so much the Insta360, but an Osmo Action, you don't really have a place to put the stuff, whereas this has the two cold shoes on the top. So you can put, for example, the GoPro Lite up here on the top if you wanted to. There we go, in we go. And then you can take a secondary microphone system like this and go ahead and plug it in the side. So that's where some of the gap is on the Osmo Action, that you can't really do that. Though again, this is half the price and a fraction of the size. Okay, so now we've got this plugged in, I'll probably just explain what it is. This is the Rode Wireless Go system. I bought this myself. This isn't like a Rode sponsor thing. I just happen to buy a lot of Rode stuff because I like mostly Rode stuff. What it is, it allows me to have a secondary lav mic plugged into this right here, and then it wirelessly transmits it over this and then into the GoPro. Now, I primarily use it with a lav mic. It does have a microphone in it and a dead cat and all that fun stuff, but I primarily use it in this setup right here with actually the exact lav mic that I'm using to record this video. So the way it works right now is that once I've got it plugged in, you'll see there's a new menu option. If I swipe down from the top right there and go to Preferences and then go to I/O, Input Output, you'll see Standard Mic. Now in this case, this is incorrect because I plugged in a powered microphone. The standard mic would be to use just the lav right here, straight in like that. That's as I had before I started shooting this. So in this case, I gotta go down to powered mic. You'll see there's a couple options. There's a standard mic and powered mic. Standard mic is a non-powered mic. Standard mic plus means a non-powered mic with a 20 decibel dB gain. Powered mic is a powered microphone like I have right here. Powered mic plus is the exact same thing with the 20 dB gain as well. And then line in is something that's already preamped, like they say guitar or mixer, etc. But I'm gonna go with the powered mic. This is what I use for this setup right here. And then I back out and that's it. What is notable right now is that I can still go into my settings here and I can go, oops, not that. And I can go down into the raw audio options, and these are still available. So I can still do these three low, medium, high options or off, even with the microphone setup. So that's kind of a neat little touch there. But to show you what this sounds like, we're gonna go back outside and I will show you this particular setup compared to the baseline. So here's the first audio sample. In this case, I'm just simply holding it on the GoPro Shorty stick. There is nothing around this. There's no Media Mod case. It's just simply the straight up default audio of the Hero 8 Black. Next, I have the Rode Wireless Go system. I'm using the Squid microphone there with this system. So you can see it right there, a lav microphone, and demonstrate that it is coming off a lab. I'm gonna go ahead and tap this a few times so you hear that in a second. So you should have heard that just fine there. Now let's go ahead and remove this one and do a non-powered microphone. So pull this off right there, And then I've got the Rode VideoMicro. This is a pretty popular microphone, and it's been popular for a while. You have the giant dead cat right here that just, sticks in the top. Oops, I just want to play. Sticks in the top like this, and then allows to go on top. Now, if you do it like this setup right here, you'll see that it's awfully damn big. And because of that, it gets in the way. I mean, as you'd expect, you'd see the top fuzzies there, but you can pull off the dead cat and you can use it in a non-windy scenario like this. You'll go ahead and you'll plug it in on the side, and then we'll go back into the input-output preferences here, and we got to go to a non-powered setup. So switch from powered back to standard mic, and then we go outside, you can listen to that. Next, I've got the Rode VideoMicro on the top there. I've taken the dead cat off because there's no wind right now right here, and also blocks the view a little bit. But just to prove that it's coming off that microphone, I'm gonna go ahead and tap the top of it. There you go, right in the top of the microphone there. Again. And then finally, last but not least, we'll go ahead and pull off this microphone, and we'll use just the lav microphone. So just this non-powered lav, just like that. Plug it in here, and you'll see as soon as I do that, the split second I do that, it goes from Media Mod to standard mic. So just like that, it's standard mic from before, and we'll go back outside and I'll show you what that sounds like. For this test here, I'm going ahead and using the Squid microphone, the lav mic, straight into the GoPro Media Mod in a non-powered configuration. So it's just straight from the lav mic into the camera. Again, I'll go ahead and tap right here a few times so you can hear that. There you go, proving it's a lav mic itself. Okay, so you can see in all those cases there, it's pretty decent setup. And I've been using this particular setup in primarily the Rode wireless lav situation with the Squid mic there. I'll link all this stuff down below in case you're not familiar with this stuff. In the last couple weeks in some really noisy environments, and that's where it made the most difference. So last but not least, let's talk about the HDMI input. So micro HDMI on this side right here, you simply plug it in the right direction, just like that. And then you go ahead and take this and plug it into your TV. So as you do that, it's gonna turn the front icon into this AirPlay-esque little kind of icon. And at that point, it disables the back screen of the GoPro Hero 8 Black. Well, it disables the view, but you still have to swipe with that screen. So within that, you've essentially got three modes. You have a gallery mode where you can go back and play back any of your photos and videos, whatever the case may be. That shows up the full 4K resolution. So that's handy. We'll see the full resolution there on your screen at 4K if connected to a 4K TV. And then you have two live and recording modes. One mode is a mode where it outputs the camera's display, what you're seeing right there, and that includes the overlays. So any of the menus, any of that kind of stuff is shown on the screen. Whereas the second HDMI out mode is a clean HDMI out that does not have any overlays. However, in 16:9, you're limited to 1080p for the output. In 4:3, you can do 1440p. So you're not gonna get the full 4K resolution on that output source. You can, however, record in 4K. So when I did that, it does actually record the internal card at 4K, but then outputs the cable at that 1080p. So it's not all bad news there. The downside though is in my test so far, when I try to do the output off this cable into my TV over there, the audio and the video aren't in sync when I'm doing that recording mode. For playback, no problems. But when I'm doing the recording mode, the output over this, the live output, is off by about 1.5 seconds between the audio and the video. Okay, so there is a complete look at the Media Mod. So here's the thing. I, like most of you, was probably excited about the Media Mod for this 3.5mm jack. And then I was like, cool, it's got a shotgun mic, maybe that'll be useful. And then I thought, cool, it's got the HDMI port. I probably will never still use that. But still, the shotgun mic could have been useful, and the cold shoe mounts would be useful. And at the end of the day, the shotgun mic is mostly useless. The HDMI port's mostly useless. But that 3.5mm port, I actually do use. And the thing is, as much as it pains me to say this, for the 79 bucks, it works for what I needed to do. For me, I need to be able to go ahead and plug in this lav mic setup right here, be able to go to trade shows, be able to go to race starts, things like that, and do effectively run and gun where I'm super time limited and have it just all work. But like last week, I shot something where I had 10 minutes. I had 10 minutes in the starting area from start to finish. That's all I had before I got kicked out of the race to get the shots I needed. I didn't want to deal with focusing. I didn't want to deal with separate microphone stuff. I just needed it on this camera. That's it, one shot wonders. And for that, it worked well. I could have pulled it off with my mirrorless cameras, but the ability to get the shots I needed in a super high-paced environment from a focusing standpoint, going in and out, running around over the course of a 200+ meter long stretch of space, this works for me. Okay, so hopefully you found that interesting. If you did, go and whack that like button at the bottom right there, or hit the subscribe button. Also, I have an entire post with plenty more technical details about the Media Mod, all sorts of goodness that you can see on the screen right now. That's linked down below there as well. Full in-depth review, written text, photos, videos, all that kind of goodness there as well. Again, thanks for watching and have a good one.